little bit of background in regard to what has happened tonight. This is a scene where we have had a deputy-involved exchange of gunfire with an individual. And let me give you a little background on how we came to be at this point. This morning, one of our SROs was notified of one of our deputy SROs was notified by an individual at Lochapoka Elementary High School campus that she had been victimized over the past several days by an individual that she identified as her boyfriend. She said that she'd been held against her will and had been sexually assaulted multiple times. The investigations unit was notified by our SRO deputy at Lochapoka. They began an investigation immediately into the circumstances. After the preliminary investigation, enough information was determined to establish probable cause to have a warrant issued for rape in the first degree. That's a Class A felony. This afternoon at approximately 5:34 p.m., units with the Lee County Sheriff's Office, with our FAST team and with our investigative unit, the patrol deputies responded or traveled to this location here in the 900 block of Lee Road 188, Auburn. It's actually in the Lochapoka community. They made entry in the attempt to serve the warrant. They were immediately met by the suspect who began firing at the deputies. One of our deputy sheriffs was struck in the arm. The deputies returned fire, and the suspect was fatally injured as a result. At that point, we immediately notified the State Bureau of Investigation under the umbrella of ALEA to conduct an independent investigation into the officer-involved nature of the shooting. I can confirm that the suspect, who is deceased, is an adult Hispanic male. I don't have any other information at this point, but that is where we are at this particular point in time.
Are we taking questions?
I'll take some questions. Bear in mind that I may be limited in what I can respond to based on the nature of the investigation at this point, and we've turned it over to them.
So can we talk about the collaboration of law enforcement? I know escorting that deputy to the hospital. Talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. When any law enforcement officer is injured, that is a time when all of our fellow law enforcement officers band together and ensure that we get him taken care of or her taken care of as quickly as possible. That's the unwritten code. That is automatic. I can confirm in regard to the deputy that he is currently being life flighted to UAB in Birmingham. That is in order to have a specialist to examine the arm where he was injured, but he is in stable condition and was responsive and talking.
So this morning, was this a student at Lochapoka High School?
No, this was the victim, the actual victim that notified our SRO deputy. There are children at the school that she has, but she notified the SRO deputy, who in turn notified our investigations unit, which kicked the investigation in gear. I will confirm one other thing. There was a 3-year-old child present in the residence at the time of the exchange of gunfire. When the suspect began shooting at the deputies, the 3-year-old child is fine, was not injured.
Are you able to reveal the identity of the deputy who was struck, or is that?
At this time, we're not going to release the name of the deputy.
Do you know any details on the crash that involved a PD officer and a Lee County deputy?
My understanding is that there was a collision between law enforcement units, a sheriff's unit, and an Auburn police unit, and that was in regard to the response here to the scene. My understanding is that both of those individuals, the Auburn officer and the Lee County deputy, they're going to be fine. They weren't seriously injured, but there was an accident. That's correct.
Is there anything you want to say to the community? I know the community is so supportful of our law enforcement officer. Talk a little bit about that support and what it means to you.
I cannot emphasize enough how much we appreciate the support of our community here in Lee County and in our region. People have been very kind. I cannot tell you how many people have reached out to check on the deputy's status to make sure that he's okay. I can confirm that Attorney General Marshall did make a call and wanted to check on the status and see how he's doing. And we've had calls from several other local elected officials, our commission, Auburn Mayor Ron Anders, and we deeply appreciate their concern. We have the full cooperation of Auburn PD, which is always appreciated. We all work very, very well together and take care of one another, and in this case, I think this is a very good example of that very thing.
What time were y'all serving the search warrant, sir?
This was at 5:34, approximately 5:34 p.m. Central Standard Time this afternoon.
The suspect in this case was a rape case or rape investigation?
The warrant was to take him into custody with a charge of rape in the first-degree Class A felony.
And I'm sorry, and this individual that fired, that was the person that you were serving the warrant to. It wasn't just somebody else.
That is
there,
correct.
Right?
That is correct.
And
It
you
was the
said-
suspect that that we had the warrant on that was being that engaged the deputies with gunfire the minute they attempted entry into the residence.
Are you able to reveal how old the victim was?
I do not know his exact age, but he is an adult male, Hispanic male.
And the victim, the woman victim, she was not here at the time the warrant was being served,
No, she was
right?
not.
How did she reach out to what do you want to say about your Lee County, your school resource officers? Obviously this young lady felt comfortable enough going to the school to report this. Is that how it happened?
Yes, that is exactly what happened. This is where the training takes effect with all our personnel. The SRO deputy was able to get the information that was necessary to notify our investigators. Investigators were able to conduct an interview, obtain the necessary information, facts, and evidence that resulted in the probable cause to issue the warrant for rape in the first degree.
Do you know how fast the response time was
As far as, I'm sorry.
on the way here after the crash happened? Between the vehicles on the way here?
Our units were already on the scene, but there were multiple personnel associated, or that are members of the Lee County Sheriff's Office, our investigative unit, some patrol deputies, and our FAST team, which are an investigative unit.
It looks like the crash happened as they were blocking traffic for the route to the hospital, right? Is that when the crash possibly happened?
I'm not really clear on the
Okay.
details, but it is being investigated, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So glad he's going to be
Thank you,
okay. Anything that the community can do to...
I would like to ask this. I would like to ask the community to please keep our deputy in their prayers and his wife and family. I know they would deeply appreciate the prayers. We certainly do. And if everyone would just please keep them in their thoughts, we deeply appreciate it.
Were any other deputies injured in this, or...?
No, just one deputy was injured. That's all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Sure.
So good.